Welcome to Lesson 1, Adding and Subtracting Decimals. So in this video, we're going to look at reviewing our operations with integers. We'll look at the addition of two positives, the additions of two negatives, addition of positive negative, and some subtraction examples as well. Now the first example, we have the case of where we're adding two positives. So what we do here is we just add the two numbers together, and then you just make your answer positive. So 2 plus 5 is 7. So we write this as positive 7. Now this next example, we have the case of where we're adding a positive and a negative. So what we actually do here is we subtract the two numbers, and then we need to determine the sign. We need to determine if there are more negatives or more positives. So subtract and determine if there are more negatives or positives. So 5 take away 4 is 1. Now if you look at the question, you see that you have 4 positives, 5 negatives. You have more negatives. The answer becomes negative 1. And here we have a similar example to the one we just did, in that we're adding a positive and a negative. So we will subtract and then determine the sign. So I have 3 negatives, 7 positives. I have more positives. So we have plus 4 or just 4. Here we have the case of where we're adding two negatives. So what we do here is we add the numbers together, and then you just make your answer negative. So you ignore the signs. You say 1 plus 5 is 6. Then you write that as negative 6. Here we have a subtraction example. So what do we do when we subtract? Well, to subtract, we will add the opposite. What we're essentially going to do is change the subtraction expression into an addition. So then we just need to follow the rules for addition. Now when we add the opposite, the sign in the middle is going to change from a subtraction to an addition, and the last number is going to change. You do not change the first number at all. So negative 4 stays as is, but the subtraction is now an addition, and that positive 6 is now a negative 6. So now that it's an addition, we follow the rule for adding two negatives. So we add the numbers together and then just make it negative. So 4 plus 6 is 10, but you write that as negative 10. Here we have 7 take away negative 2. So we add the opposite. So it becomes 7 plus positive 2. So here we have the addition of two positives. So we just add them together and our answer stays positive. 7 plus 2 is 9. And this last example, once again, the first number does not change. The subtraction becomes an addition, and the minus 5 becomes a plus 5. So here we're adding a positive and negative. We subtract the numbers. 10 take away 5 is 5. And determine the sign. I have 10 negatives, 5 positives. I have more negatives. So we write it as negative 5. So reviewing these operations with integers, is important for when we move on to adding and subtracting decimals and fractions.